Hi guys, the charlatans who wanted and sold the people of the United Kingdom a referendum on EU membership are at it again. This time they want one on immigration. Because the last one was such a success. So Richard Tice from Reform UK appeared on Reform UK friendly concrete farmer Mike Graham's show to discuss the idea of holding a special vote on immigration. Tice here believes that it would force a rational, sensible discussion on the issue, because the entire debate on Brexit was nothing but rational and sensible. Oh my God, here we go again.
Had more than 700,
what the Tories have done.
700 migrants arriving in 11 boats in a single day on Sunday, which I think was the biggest number in one day since Keir Starmer's been Prime Minister, which would suggest that, his plan to smash the gangs, although some people have accused me of expecting something too quick to happen, doesn't appear to be working. In fact, if anything, there's more people coming than ever. And some people have been asking me recently whether we should have a referendum on immigration. Would you think that Reform would back that?
Look, it's an interesting idea, and what such a thing would do is trigger a rational, sensible debate about what is the right level of immigration and emigration into the country. We campaigned to freeze immigration. About 500,000 people leave every year, so you welcome 500,000 highly skilled, highly qualified people. You end up with a net zero. That's like freezing immigration. If you're really concerned about healthcare and social care, you can have an exemption for that. But fundamentally, the role of a government is to train up and ensure the conditions to train up and get our own people back into work. You've been talking this morning earlier about the quantity of people who are economically inactive. And it's an absolute scandal that about 1 million people, more people are economically inactive on some form of benefits than before COVID. It's a tragedy in every sense of the word, and that's why our key economic policy is to lift the starting point to pay income tax to £20,000 as opposed to £12,500, because you make work pay, and that's the fastest way to help those who are trapped on benefits, which many are, to make the calculation, well, at the end of the week I'm better off if I go to work.
Yeah. And if somebody was to come up...
It's all related to the immigration debate, Mike.
Oh, it is, yeah.
Okay. So he's talking about two things here, but I want to focus on this idea of a referendum. What would be the question? That's, I think, an important question to ask. What would be on the ballot paper if you were to have a referendum on immigration? And when he mentioned... Yes, it would force a rational, sensible discussion on immigration, like it happened with Brexit. I've been against the idea of referendums in the past in Britain because the problem is people have not been informed. The problem with the Brexit referendum was people didn't know what they were voting for. Some people thought that Britain would stay in the single market, others thought it would leave. Some people were told that Britain would end up like Switzerland or like Norway, and that obviously didn't happen. Some people thought it wouldn't have any impact whatsoever. Some people thought it would improve the economy. It would improve things. So people were lied to. People didn't know what they were voting for. People thought it would bring down immigration. People thought it would make them richer. So somebody was lying and somebody was lied to. The same with an immigration referendum. You'll have the right wing saying, we're going to if we vote for this, we'll bring down immigration. But these are economic policies. This is the job of government. It's not the job of the public to understand the ins and outs of immigration. The majority of people, it seems, want to bring down immigration. But when they're asked about different sectors, they say, actually, we need to have more immigrants. For example, the care sector. Now, Richard Tice has mentioned that, but would that be part of a referendum vote? Like, how do you include exceptions on a ballot paper? In the same way as voting to leave the European Union didn't say, well, we're going to vote to leave the single market as well. So, well, some people will say, well, it was by default, of course, leaving the single market would be part of leaving the European Union. It wasn't clear to the public. It wasn't clear before the referendum, and it wasn't clear on the ballot paper. So the same thing with a referendum on immigration. What would it contain? What would be on the ballot paper? What would people be voting for? And of course, you're not going to have a sensible debate. You're not having a sensible debate about immigration at the moment. You have the likes of Reform UK talking about net zero immigration. You have the Tories talking about bringing it down to certain numbers. Even the Labour Party is saying immigration is too high. It's pandering to the public. The public believe immigration is too high. But when they're asked about different sectors, they say, no, it's not too high. So somebody is lying and somebody is being lied to. And the idea of having a referendum just adds more confusion to a very confused issue. Once again, offloading responsibility onto the public when this is the job of politicians. Now, is there the chance that a referendum will be held? Well, it's possible, because as we see within British politics, political parties seem to pander to certain elements, like the Conservatives pandering to Nigel Farage in the past. Maybe it's possible that Farage could get the Labour Party to pander to him as well. So you want to bring down immigration? Okay, let's have a referendum on it. I hope they're not that stupid, but we've been down this road before. I don't think it's going to happen. This is the job of government. It's not the job of the public to vote on things like this. So at the end of the day, I don't see a referendum taking place. But if it does happen, of course, it will be an attempt to pander to the far right and Nigel Farage. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.